learners, viewers and listeners, welcome to this session. This topic is part of the course Gandhi's Social Thought. Today we are going to see the Gandhi's views on children and youth. This is the part of the unit 11. I am Dr. G. Uma, working as an assistant professor in the School of Gender and Development Studies, IGNOU. This course is coordinated by Dr. Ruxana. Welcome to this session. Before I start the objective of this session, let me introduce the topic. Gandhi's view on children and youth constitute an interesting aspect in the holistic realm of national freedom struggle. His intention was to spell out the aspects of best upbringing, parental care and development of intellect and good conduct that would help in evolving into good human being. Children were the real practitioners of truth and non-violence. Their innocence captivated Gandhi. His letters to the members of his family revealed his absolute affection for children, and he has given the guidelines to his family members and others regarding the children's diet, how to keep the children very hygiene and how to make the children very healthy. And like children, Gandhi had an unflinching faith in the youth of the nation, as a whole nation depended on their ability to achieve freedom in all spheres. He encouraged youth to adopt truth and non-violence in their struggle for freedom, and also he advised youth of this country not to give in to vices and violence. Gandhi recommended the Ehadasa Vratas to the youth so that they could achieve purity of body, mind and soul. To him, youth represented hope for the future wherein India would achieve greater heights as an apostle of truth and non-violence if we properly guide the youth to achieve the greater heights. This was, Gandhi has an immense faith on the youth of this country. Before I get into the details of this topic, let me explain the objective of this lecture. This lecture and the reading material, that is unit, as part of this lecture will enable you to understand Gandhi's views on children and Gandhi's view on education of children, Gandhi's views on youth and the youth's contribution towards the national regeneration. Based on this objective, we have prepared this lecture as well as the reading material which is part of this lecture. Let us first start by looking at the Gandhi's view on children. The child is in fact not only a child, the children are unconscious worshippers of truth and hence they could able to advance. We should therefore, according to Gandhi, each one of us like adult, we should become a children, that is to say, we should shed all fear and worship truth. We should do that which our heart believes that is to be true. This was stated by Mahatma Gandhi in Navajivan in the year 1929. You could be able to, if you read volume number 42 in the page 207 to 208, you could be able to see the Gandhi's views on children. Gandhi immensely loved children and viewed them as true followers of truth. Ashe observed, quote, "If we could become innocent like children and derive our meanings from innocent observations like theirs, we could spare ourselves much trouble, many disputes and much waste of time, and our intellect would become increasingly keener." Unquote. This was quoted by Ashe. He further says, quote, "It is not easy for a person advanced in age to become and continue to be like a child, innocent and simple and a conscious worshippers of truth, but it is our duty to do so. The perfect incarnation of Godas conceived by Hinduism is the child Krishna. Jesus said, quote, wisdom flows from the mouths of the babes and sucklings. He said to those who desired salvation, became like children, unquote. So, Gandhi has an immense faith, we cannot say faith, Gandhi has immense hope among children that adults, according to Gandhi's writings, we could able to derive that adults also can follow, can learn many things from the children. Let us see in this topic, like according to Gandhi, what he is talking about children in various issues. First, let us start with upbringing of children. According to Gandhi, parents should have a proper rearing and nursing of babies. So, he further states that necessary care has to be taken to bring them up and monitor their growth. So, each and every parents, they should take a necessary care to bring children, and they have to, each and every parent, they should monitor the children and their growth. He said the following in this context. I am convinced that for the proper upbringing of children, the parents ought to have a general knowledge of the care and nursing of babies. Gandhi further stated in his autobiography, my children would not have enjoyed the general health that they do today had I not studied the subject and turned my knowledge to account. We labor under a sort of superstition that the child has nothing to learn during the first 5 years of its life. On the contrary, the fact is that the child never learns in afterlife what it does in its first 5 years. The education of the child begins with conception. The physical and mental states of the parents at a moment of conception are reproduced in the baby. After birth, the child imitates the parents, and for a considerable number of years, the child entirely depends on them for its growth. This was stated by Gandhi in his autobiography. Gandhi also observes thus, the truth is that most of us are scarcely fit to be parents. Then he is asking the parents, he is asking the adults, why should those who have not learnt the science of child care bring children into the world? Gandhi acknowledges the role of the home environment that plays a greater part during the growing up years. Children inherit certain qualities from their parents. In some cases, have successfully surmounted the difficulties of an evil inheritance. During his stay in South Africa, Gandhi became teacher to his children as well as to those living at Tolstoy farm. Gandhi insisted on character building as a proper foundation of children's education. He felt that if the foundation was firmly laid, I was sure that the children could learn all the other things themselves or with the assistance of friends. You can see all these Gandhi's ideas about children and youth in his autobiography, volume number 39. Let us see, next topic is Gandhi discussed is diet and cleanliness. In a letter to one of his associates, Gandhi writes, quote, a mother should know how to take care of the children's teeth. See, according to Gandhi, cleanliness is a very important aspect in children's life. So, he says that a mother should know how to take care of the children's teeth. Their food not to be very soft and should not contain too much starch. They should have sugar and jaggery in a very small quantity only. Instead, they may also allowed to suck juice from lot of sugar cane during that season. Whenever there is a season for sugar cane, then they can suck the juice from the sugar cane. When the season is over, the children may be given fruits containing sugar like figs, munaka, dates, etc. So, Gandhi is against giving the children too much of sugar and jaggery. So, they should avoid of taking too much sugar and jaggery. They should instead they should take a sugar from a natural fruits. That is important thing. And in the diet and cleanliness, he is talking about the importance of keeping children's teeth very clean manner. Moreover, Gandhi further states that a mother should stand by the side of the children when they brush their teeth in the morning. So, he is very particular, Gandhi. Every day when the children get up in the morning, it is important for the mother to stand besides the child, and they should, the parents, mother should look into the children how they are brushing their teeth, and it is the responsibility of the mother to teach them to clean the teeth with the bubble stick vigorously. They should be taught to goggle properly even every meal, and to massage the teeth and gums with their fingers. This was stated in CWMG volume 53, and you can, when you read, you can see the Gandhi's ideas about how to keep the children's teeth very clean. Gandhi further states that children should be fed increasing quantities of fresh fruit to keep them in the best of their health, strength and vigor. Gandhi advises against giving caffeinated drinks like tea and coffee to the children. He is against giving any caffeinated drinks. So, the children, they should drink like natural fruits, they should drink the natural drinks. That is what Gandhi was telling. He is very particular about children's teeth, their nutrition, and how to keep the children very clean, how to support the children in each and every aspects. It is, according to Gandhi, it is responsibility of the parents to support the children when they grow up. During their growing up period, it is the responsibility of the parents to support the children. Gandhi deemed it essential for parents to pay special attention to the cleanliness aspects. We were discussing, how Gandhi was very particular about the cleanliness of the children. He has given the following points should be kept in mind in his context. First one is their teeth. We were discussed very elaborately about the cleanliness of teeth among children. So, their teeth should be clean. They should be made to rinse them every morning and again every morning, and they have to clean their teeth before retiring at night. Their hair should be clean. It should be cut short and washed, brushed every day. No oil need to be used. Their nails should be clean, clipped from time to time and always washed clean. Their clothes and shoes should be neat and tidy. Their satchels and books should be clean. They should handle books with clean hands. So, each and every aspect he is talking about. He started with the teeth, and he is talking about the hair, how to clean the hair. We have to cut short the hair and wash regularly. There is no need to apply oil. Their nails should be very clean and clipped time to time, and always it should be washed clean. Their clothes and shoes should be neat and tidy. They have to keep their books clean, and their satchels and books should be clean. They should handle their books in a very clean hands. Gandhi observed that physical tidiness and cleanliness should be the first lesson, as a cleanliness will ensure that children do not get infected with contagious disease. Next topic he is discussing about is the parental care. Gandhi believed that child's health depends greatly on the condition of the mother. A mother should have a healthy diet in order to ensure the good health of the child. Gandhi advocates the higher role for the father as a child learns to observe the behavior of parents in the growing up years. Parents are endowed with the delicate responsibility of bringing up the children. Therefore, it is mandatory for the parents to conduct themselves with purity of conduct so that they can teach the children the virtues of purity and honesty. Thus, the parents have the responsibility of ensuring their children's physical and mental well-being. So, Gandhi is insisting the responsibility of the parents. What is the responsibility of the parents? First thing, Gandhi is talking about the children's health is totally depend on the condition of the mother. So, it is the responsibility of mother. A mother should have a healthy diet in order to ensure the good health of the child. And he is also, Gandhi is talking about the higher role for the father, because he states that children, they observe the behavior of the parents in the growing up years. So, sometimes the children know they whatever the parents behave, they observe and imitate the parents. So, it is the parents are endowed with the delicate responsibility of bringing up the children, that is very important. So, therefore, it is mandatory for the parents to conduct themselves with the purity of conduct so that they can teach the children virtues of purity and honesty. Thus, the parents have the responsibility of ensuring the children's physical and mental well-being. And next topic Gandhi was talking about is the obedience of parents. He states that, quote, "It is one's duty to obey one's parents. They are one's teachers, they are God." Shravana achieved his salvation by regarding his parents as God while obeying his father's orders. Rama gave up his kingdom, unquote. So, next topic Gandhi discussed about the children are child marriages. Gandhi thoroughly discouraged child marriages as the age is not ripe for the boys and girls into matrimonial relation. At a young age, the physical and mental capacities of the children do not develop, and this renders them incapable of handling the pressures that come up with the marriages. Gandhi's experience of his early marriage at the tender age and the resultant difficulties made him discourage this practice vehemently. So, when we talk about the child marriage, he is talking from his own experience, because Gandhi experienced the early marriage. It's a very tender age he got married. So, he understood the difficulties of marrying at a very early age. So, when he talked about the child marriage, it has come up from his own experience. He called upon the parents not to compel their children to enter into marriage when they are unprepared for it. Young boys and girls should be attending school or constructive workshops and not to be saddled with the duties of a household. Where parents insist on not following this, he did not find it unreasonable if the children disregarded parental authority and followed the light of reason and conscience. This was stated in Young India in their 1929. So, he is vehemently opposed the child marriage, and Gandhi also he is against preferring the male child. Gandhi considered the preference of male child as invidious and wrong, and that the birth of a son or a daughter should be welcome alike. So, according to him, we should not prefer a male or female child. We should treat every children as an equal. So, whether it is a son or a daughter, we should welcome them both alike and we should treat them both equally. He writes in Harijan thus, quote, "But if we regard marriage as a sacrament, there is a room in it only for one offspring, and that is why in our Shastras the first offspring is described as Dharmaja, that is duty born, all subsequent issues being referred to as Kamaja, that is lust born. I make no distinction between son and daughter." This was stated by him, by Gandhiji in Harijan. So, he is against child marriage, he is not preferring a male child, he is
asking everyone to treat both male and female equally. That is the next thing, and he is very particular about diet, he is very particular about the cleanliness of children, and he is vehemently stated that it is the responsibility of the mother to take a proper diet that will reflect the diet of the children, and it is the responsibility of the mother to keep the child very clean and neat, and both the parents they should behave in a proper manner. According to Gandhi, children they observe their parents, and accordingly they emulate the parents behavior. So it is important for the parents to behave in a proper manner, that is very important. So next topic he is discussing about children or the education of the children. According to Gandhi, good education of children was of utmost importance, for it sows in them the seeds of humanity, love and respect that would enable them to become good human beings upon their growth. Next, Gandhiji talking about the religion. According to Gandhiji, we must inculcate this in our children from the time they start showing some understanding. So, you must tell your children that the place of religious is in our heart and it is not in your power to protect it. I have taught my children that they must protect their own religion. This speech was given by Gandhiji at a prayer meeting in 1947 in New Delhi. So, in every topic like for the children, whether that is education, religion, child marriage, cleanliness of the children, everything Gandhi has expressed his views on children and their aspects. Next important thing, Gandhi was talking about the development of intellect among children. According to Gandhi, a gentle and vigilant teacher should gently coax and teach the children habits of discipline, so that their reason, being freed from the control of their senses, would become from the very childhood their guide. Unquote. So, next topic Gandhi was talking about the corporal punishment. Gandhi, in reply to a school teacher's questions regarding following the non-violent way of handling the erring students, said the following, I am quite clear that you must not inflict corporal punishment on your children or pupils. You can punish yourself if you like or qualified, in order to melt your children's or pupils' heart. When a bond is established between a teacher and his pupils, the latter is generally yield before their teacher's suffering for their sake. Non-violence does not compel you to keep in your school students who does not carry our disciplinary rules. Unquote. This was expressed by Gandhiji in Harijan in 1940. Child labour. Gandhiji, already we are talking about the child labour. Here again we can talk about the child labour. Gandhiji suggested imposing prohibition against employment of children of school going age in factories. He opined that childhood be spent in acquiring education, not in working in factories to sustain the family from the effects of poverty. Child labour is now a major factor of menace, wherein thousands of children in India are employed in factories to earn livelihood. Trafficking of children has become a common offence that robs children of their innocence and makes them work through hard labour at a tender age. Next important thing about is Gandhi loves spinning, so he is talking about the spinning also. Gandhi recommended spinning for children too. He wanted that women and children up to the age of 12 to spare time for spinning and other process of khadi products. Like Gandhi specifically talking about the importance of involving children in the production of khadi. Even if children devoted 4 hours to cleaning, carding and spinning, enough khadi could be produced. Gandhi envisaged this task for children with the simple aim of inculcating the spirit of service and sacrifice, which he associated with spinning to be inculcated at an young age. Next is this, today we are discussing about the Gandhi's views on children and youth, and he is also talking about the youth. To Gandhi, the youths are the agents of social change. They have the capacity to establish an ideal society based on the immortal principles of truth and non-violence. Gandhi had an important message for the youth which would be studied under various rubrics of the following paragraphs. First one is, he is talking about the violence and vices. He observed that, quote, the temple of freedom requires the patient, intelligent and constructive effort of tens of thousands of men and women, young and old. Acts such as we are deploring decidedly retarded the progress of this quiet building. When it does nothing else, it diverts the attention of the countless builders. This was stated in Young India. Gandhi was talking about the 7 principles. According to Gandhi, the 7 social politics without principles, the 7 principles in the society and politics, without these principles it is difficult. One is the wealth without work, pleasure without consciousness, knowledge without character, commerce without morality, science without humanity, worship without sacrifice. These are the 7 principles when he talking about the youth. As he said, quote, my hope lies in the youth of the country, such of them as are prey to the vice are not vicious by nature. They are helplessly and thoughtlessly drawn to it. They must realize the harm it has done them and society. They must understand too that nothing but rigorously disciplined life will save them and the country from utter ruin. Above all, unless they visualize God and seek His aid in keeping them from temptation, no amount of dry discipline will do them much good. This was stated in Young India in 1925. And next the topic, when he is talking about the youth, he is talking about the national militia and military training. Gandhi supported the idea of national militia only under Swaraj because people cannot be made to adopt non-violence under compulsion. Therefore, it is necessary that they learn the ways of meeting national crisis by non-violent means. He said that it is one thing to adopt non-violence for the specific purpose in a time of crisis and quite another thing to advocate its adoption by all for all time as a philosophy of life. But I lack the strength for such a mission. I may not therefore resist the formation of the national militia. Unquote. We will start next topic. He is discussing about the when he talk about the youth, next topic he is talking about is constructive work and country's work. The constructive program Gandhi's blueprint for the social regeneration of India has provided a great opportunity to the youth to take part in the constructive work and do immense service to the nation. Gandhi felt that it could be possible only if the youth of the country would undertake this onerous task to reconstruct their life and pass every day of their vacation in the villages surrounding their colleges or high schools. He said that, quote, it is helpful to have a good young man coming forward, for it is they alone who can venture to experiment. The members of these youth organizations will be able to achieve many great things if they work with sincerity and with sole intention of doing the right thing for their country. He observed that a nation whose youth discard restraint, courtesy, humility and tolerance courts destruction. Their responsibility is greater than that of old people because they later have given whatever they could or as much they could wish to give. Youths are today shaping the new order of making fresh contributions. So, according to Gandhi, only those who have purity in character can contribute towards all-round development of self, community and subsequently to the nation. So, this entire unit and this lecture was taken from the collected works of Mahatma Gandhi, Publication Division, Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, Government of India. If anybody wants to know more about this topic, you can very well refer this Mahatma Gandhi's collected works of Mahatma Gandhi. Thank you so much for listening this lecture. Thank you. We will meet again in another topic. Thank you.